What's up, bro?
Tez, man.
What it do?
I'm good, man. Yo, man, thank you for joining us on this Labor Day. I know you're so busy counting all that money. You took time out to hang out with me.
Nah, man, I'm enjoying it, man. I just I'm privileged just to be on the show, man. I wasn't expecting the call, you know.
Oh, come on, Tez.
Yeah, nah, for real. You know me, I'm behind the scenes in the cut. You know, I don't do much of anything, bro. So I definitely appreciate it.
Nah,
Man,
Tez,
you know,
you've been doing this for how many years now, Tez?
16.
16. Wow.
Yeah.
What,
16 years, dog.
when was it 16? This summer?
January. I started officially managing Wayne January 2004.
Wow.
So that was the beginning. I think that's 16 years. Don't
Yeah, 16.
Okay, all right. I've been sipping a little bit, you know. I'm cooked out, so I've been sipping. The weather's nice out here, so I started drinking a little wine earlier, you know.
Where you at right now? So,
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you're in Atlanta.
Where it's
Speaking of
wide
Atlanta,
open.
Tricky Stewart's in here too. Shout out to Tricky.
Shout out Tricky, yes sir.
Oh man, in Atlanta, how have you been managing through this whole quarantine? Because I know you always on the road. I know you're hands on with your artists.
Nah, it's been rough, dog. It's definitely been a pivot. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you. You know, I think most artists make the majority of their money on touring and touring concerts. So that came to a halt. So you know, this time has forced us to pivot and think outside the box. One great thing about us as a company, as a management company, you know. Our whole philosophy is about building brands outside of the music. So, you know, a lot of our artists got a lot of things going on outside of music. So it didn't affect them as much because they have other streams of income coming in, you know, but it's definitely been, you know, it's definitely out the norm, you know.
Yeah.
It made me buckle down and try to figure out other creative ways to bring in income to manage their extravagant lifestyle.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of Artifacts. Like you said, you've been doing this for 16 years, and the journey I know has been amazing.
Yes.
You know, it's been incredible. So I was just wondering to know, you know, to show some of the things that you've collected throughout the years that kind of tell the story of that journey.
You know what? I had been an avid collector, right? But like maybe about 12 years ago, I was just at my house. I think I was moving. I can't remember. It might have been from Atlanta to Miami or Miami to LA. I can't remember. I've lived in a couple different places. Yeah. But I noticed that, like, oh shit, I got all these tour laminates and passes and everything from, you know, for everything I was doing. I was like, shit, this might be dope, you know, later on, because I'm not the one. I don't have a lot of pictures and
really,
you know, yeah. So there's no like you know, there's no type of archives of the things I've done in work. This is really the only thing. So I looked at it, I was like, damn, this might be a dope thing, because this might, you know, take me to these moments later on down in life. So I just started just throwing them in a pile, and I was able to find a lot. I have a trunk that this is I think I got like maybe from this maybe the last 10 years. So it is not everything, because I packed a lot of it up, and it's in my storage, and I could not find it in a couple of days. I wanted to so bad, because I have so many, but I did find a good bit of them.
Oh my goodness! Wow. See, I love those things. Those are like my stamp collection.
Yeah.
Before you show any of them, Tez, do you remember your first concert that you went to?
First concert in life, yes, was it was MC Hammer and freaking who opened up for MC Hammer? It was MC Hammer, JJ Fad, I think.
Wow.
And In Vogue was on that ticket. Like, it was crazy.
In Vogue, JJ Fad and Hammer.
Yeah. Crazy mix. But yeah, it was a dope concert. The second one, my dad brought me to a Prince show. That kind of changed. That gave me, because Hammer was and both of them, the production was so crazy.
Right.
Now I can look back after all these years and kind of see how my steps is ordered, because I never knew I was gonna be in the goddamn music business, even when I was in college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to school to goddamn be in the music business. It just so happened I had a very talented best friend, Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? That kind of saw something in me and brought me into it. But now I can look back, and those shows and those ideas like that resonated with me in a way to where as though, it helped me, inspired me once I got into the business to know.
It kind of groomed you in some ways too.
Yeah. It made me know that this is superstar level what we got to get to, because Hammer shit was like crazy, right?
That was
and then that was my mom, but then my dad first. Then it was a Prince concert, right?
Wow.
On the next level, this motherfucker, he brought a bed on stage. I was like, wait. I'm like 13, 12. I'm like, am I supposed to be seeing this right now? Even though I know what was up, I try to be like all cool and shy.
Yeah.
From my pops to like I was like this, but in my back of my mind, I'm like, yo, this shit's crazy. This nigga got a bed on stage with all these chicks on him. I'm like, damn, Prince, like shit, nigga, with high heels, nigga. How you get to your bed with high heels on?
Did you ever get to meet Prince later on?
Huh?
Did you ever get to meet Prince later on?
I never got to meet Prince later on. You know what's crazy? One crazy thing, I think his last show was out here in Atlanta, right?
Right.
And one of my homeboys is just like at Fox Theater. One of my homeboys like, yo, Taz, like, we should go to this Prince show and shit like that. I was here. I was tired, right? And I was just like, man, you know what? I know he about to be on tour. I catch him in another city or something, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired, I'm about to lay it down. And Lord knows that was his last show ever, right? So but you know what was crazy thing is, I told myself, because I love concerts. I love studying what a lot of what artists do. I told myself that after, because I had the same experience with Michael Jackson, right? So I before Mike passed, I had tickets, fucking backstage. I used every fucking plug that I had gained in the music industry at that time to get passes to the This Is It tour in London. So I had all my flights, hotels, everything booked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Mike is like my all-time favorite artist, right? So I'm like, I'm finally about to fucking see Mike. And nigga, I got passes. I'm about to be look, this music shit that really kicked in on a level that I never kicked in. And goddamn, he passed away, man. And I bowed after that time. I was like, I gotta see these greats, because I don't never know, and I should have. And that night, I was like, damn, I should have just. But I had seen Prince in concert a couple different times, though. So it wasn't. So I was like, if I have an opportunity to see some of these greats perform, I want to make sure that I time doesn't wait for no one, right? So I want to make sure I capitalize on these moments, because you never know what could happen.
Never know. Absolutely. Right. Do you remember the first Wayne show you went to?
Wayne show?
Yeah.
Shit, bro. When he was actually, we was friends, right? So we used to be growing up, and Cash Money used to do things. This is before there was nationwide, so this is probably like 94, 95, 96. Wayne was with them at that time, so he 11, 12 years old. Like mine, we friends, right? So every holiday there was this holiday concert. They used to do at this spot called the Riverboat Hallelujah in New Orleans, and they used to do shows locally like every holiday. Like I think it was like Christmas and Easter, or Thanksgiving and Easter. They used to do a big Cash Money, used to do a big concert with all their local artists. So I used to go to them with him when he was just a fucking novice, before he was Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There was him and BG had the group the BGs before BG took the term and went on his own. So he was just Baby D as part of the BGs and performing the songs they had locally. So like I said, I was there. So I used to just go to these local concerts and see him rock, and that shit, we used to be in awe, you know what I'm saying? Just knowing that. So that was like the first time, I seen him perform on stage, the first rap. Like even then, bro, I tell everybody, one of the first raps Wayne rapped for me, like fucking he was in 8th grade or something. Like it was about fast food restaurants. It was like McDonald's, Burger King. And when I say the wordplay was so fucking crazy, I'm like, dog, this shit. And to this day, man, you know, metaphor, similes, wordplay, like
the best.
I don't care. I'll put him in with any goddamn body, right? Because that shit still, I'll be like, dog, how the fuck you say this? Like, where does this come from, right?
Right.
Because crazy shit be, he'll call me and be like, yo, Tez, like, dog, he'll like think of a rap in his head, and be like, yo, this makes sense. And he'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was the college, you know what I'm saying? They looked at me thinking, just because I'm the only one out of our crew with the goddamn school.
Right.
They think that I know it all. So he'll just be spitting shit, spitting words out and be like, yo, does this shit make sense in the word? I'm like, yo, that shit made the perfect sense in the word. He's like, I don't know. The words that come to his head, this motherfucker don't know what they really mean, but the shit flow. And I'll be like, damn, he'll just call me and check, like, yo, this shit, what this word mean? But it came to my head. Like, my motherfucker would get this shit in his spirit, in this mind. He's a genius. Put these words together and have to double check and see if it really makes sense. Or would call me from time to time. When I was in college and shit, he'd hit me up and like, yo, this makes sense. I'd be like, yo, that shit crazy. How the fuck you come up with that? Like,
right.
It's crazy. Yeah.
People still talking about the lasagna line.
Yeah. Now moving silence like this.
Word. Lil Wayne's one of the greats. But like you said, you seen him from the genesis, you know, from him performing at a young age till where he's performing at these concerts that you showed some of the Laminates to. Can you show some of them that bring some of the most memories to you?
I think I mean, my favorite tour of them all was this Drake versus Wayne. So we had a dope ass pass.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you went. Did you go to this show?
I was there. I was there at the Queen show.
Oh my God, like the concept was crazy. The pass was fucking made out of metal. This is the only metal pass.
I didn't get the metal pass.
Yeah. The tour passes is the metal passes, right? So this is my favorite tour ever, man. I mean, and Drake came up with the Street Fighter concept, like. You know, I'm not taking credit for that. Drake came up like, yo, I got a dope ass concept. You know, so the Street Fighter collaboration, you know, with all the graphics and content that we had on the screen. I thought it was a fun tour, man. We had fun every night. You know, it was at a time when, you know, Drake had arrived as an artist from seeing him, you know, from the inception as a superstar himself. Yeah. And mentor and mentees is going on the stage, having fun, talking a little shit during the whole time. You know,
it's like verses before verses.
Yeah, verses. Right, exactly. Like, it was super fun. And like, this is my favorite tour ever, man. Every night it was because they'd be cracking up. You know, a lot of tours be scripted for us, show flow, but this one, you know, they really had some competition with them. Like, like it started off like. You know, it was cool, but then it was just like, let's switch this song. You'll see them, if you was there from the beginning to the end, they'll switch songs up to be like, hold up, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm going to this city. Let me add this song to my repertoire, you know what I'm saying? So
we need to do that a tour again, like a part 2. You think that could happen?
And they talked about it. I think we do need to do it again, dog. So that was dope.
That was a great show.
This was Drake's first tour ever. After 2010. Got the tour dates on the back. This is a college tour. This is before he went on and was making that big money. You know what I'm saying?
So this is before the debut, or this is So Far Gone era? This is
So Far Gone, and I think this had to have been before Thank Me Later. So so this is definitely. College, he was probably making 5,000. Everybody in this tour was 5,000, 10,000 a night. You gotta know where he come from. Like, it's probably $1 million.
You hold that up a little bit now. Damn, all access. Drake probably never got that.
Francis and the Lights. No, this had to be after Thank Me Later. Francis and the Lights was on there because they did they wrote that karaoke song.
Oh right.
One of my favorite songs by Drake. So this might have been right afterwards. The dates all get mixed up with me, but it was a college tour before he went to arenas and reached that level You know, it was like 5,000. It was a dope vibe, you know, because I think this built his core fan base. You know, his core fan base came from them college kids, and I think they've grown with him ever since.
Let me ask you this question, Tez, like, because I heard a lot of artists, of course, every artist wants to do the big arenas, right? But a lot of artists say they do like those intimate kind of settings. Which one do you think is a better suited for artists? Or which one do you prefer?
No, I think they should do both, right? I think that, and it's strategy for us, and which I understood earlier. That one of my partners, Sean G, he's like the touring guru. Laminates for the urban president right now. He's like the touring guru of our company. It kind of grew. He was the reason behind Kanye, then Wayne, and Drake, and G-Eazy. So he laid the blueprint, no pun, on those on the touring strategy. Because me coming in the game, you know, I was about the chitlin circuit, chasing the bag and bag. But a lot of artists, and I think that it's a disconnect why people. And it's very important because a lot of artists don't reach that arena level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They wonder why, but it takes strategy. Like touring, it takes strategy in order to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? We're blessed to have all our artists, the majority of them that we work with, reach that status. But everything has been planned, right? So I think that you have to start intimate. You know, because I take Wayne for example, right? Wayne was like on the chitlin circuit, basically in the clubs, on the nightclub. We were probably making 50, 75,000 doing those before Carter 3, after Carter 2 mixtape, all that mixtape and feature Wayne era. We was making bags, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But when I met my partner, like when G and I combined our company, G Roberson and I combined our company, and Sean G came along as a touring expert, you know. They taught me the touring game. It was like, listen, you were like, look, those bags are good, but if you want to take Wayne to arena type level, you might take some sacrifice. We got to sell hard tickets. You know, we got to get in front of these fans. You know what I'm saying? We got to get in front of these other suburban white people who we knew that was buying into hip hop at the time. He was like, we got to do hard tickets and go into these venues that where everybody feels comfortable to come to. You know, to grow your audience. So you might have to take a step back. For your money because you can't make that much money in a house of blues or those type of situations. So you know, and I remember the conversation with Wayne. I was like, look, bro, I know we get 50, 75 a show right now, but you know, in order for us to reach the level I think you could reach, the arena level, we may have to make some sacrifices. And we did. So the first thing we did for his formal touring with him was we went on a Chris Brown tour. Now, mind you, we opened up Chris. It was Chris Brown, Neo, and Chris is just new, but he was popping, like he was hot. So this is his first album.
So this is like 2003, 4 maybe?
This is maybe after that. So it was like 7, maybe 2006 or 7 era. After Chris' first album, he was on fire.
Okay.
Maybe 7. I think it was probably like 6 or 7, sometime.
Okay. Before Carter 3.
Yeah, before Carter 3. So we had so we opened up with so it was Chris before Wayne, Chris, Neo. You know the co-headline there with Neo, Franchise Boys.
Wow.
I think Wayne was before them because Lean With It, Rock With It was hot. now mind you, like look. And then I think Jewels and them had just got popping. So there was like first.
Wow.
Like, so I think that was the order to show up close and personal tour. You can look it up what the year was.
Wow.
And we were making like 10,000 a night for 15 minutes. But that was like, so we went from like 50 to 75,000 a night to goddamn 10,000 a night for 15 minutes.
Right.
Wayne was like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill these 15 minutes, and before the end of the tour, they might have to switch orders.
Right.
But that's what it ended up being, you know. And from there, we did like a mini House of Blues tour before the Carter 3, which is like 12. Like, listen, but we built it up. But by that time, we had tapped into an audience that we hadn't had, or that hadn't seen him. It wasn't that we hadn't had it, but hadn't seen him. The white people hadn't seen Wayne because all we were doing was like, you know, like I said, the club scene, club circuit, and nobody had seen him outside of that, right? So all these things were like recipes for success when Carter 3 came. And we had that massive first week when the music business was hurting. It was hurting. So so right after that, we went straight to the arena tour. It was kind of like history from that. So I've been long-winded, but
no, it's all good.
Shows are important, you know what I'm saying? So the intimate shows is definitely important to build your core, build your fan base, and even when you get big, it's super dope. You know, like J. Cole, Dollar and the Dream.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have those type of shows where you want to cater to, you know, it's super dope when you get to that level to strip it down and cater to your core fans and give them, you know, a piece of you that they don't have to pay a lot of money for, you know, and have some type of intimate setting. That's just, you know, that helps with that connectivity with your core, with your fans, which is super important. And that helps you get longevity. You know what I'm saying? That's when you become these greats that you could be goddamn 50, 60-year-olds, go out on tour and still sell out, you know, and still sell out things.
That's a fact. Do you have any Laminates from overseas? From when Wayne,
you know,
overseas dates?
I have. Let me see.
I love Laminates, man.
I had it too. I think I saw one from. I'm over here looking.
That's all good.
And I had one from over. I think I had a Drake one. Him and J. Cole.
Oh man.
People
pay big money for that show now.
Yeah, right. What that show be right now? Right? Let me find that shit. I had it. What was it?
Take your time.
Yeah. Oh. Like Dreams and Nightmares.
Wow.
Shit. Drake and J. Cole. Europe.
Damn. What year was that? I don't even remember that show.
Oh man, I don't. Damn, man, the year's not on. I was hoping the year was on there. I can't even remember when it was either. But yeah, like.
What was it like going overseas with Drake?
It was great. You know what? Since Drake being Canadian and international himself,
right?
You know, and by that time we already had Kanye and Wayne under management. At the company right there, so we kind of had the formula. So Drake had, you know, it was really plug and play. So we did it the right way. So usually, with Wayne, we had to build up Europe. We had to build up Europe post his success in America, right? The same thing went for Ye. But when Drake came, we knew the formula. We knew. As we were promoting in America, we had to also promote in Europe. So at the same time, Thank Me Later, that first album right after So Far Gone, we were promoting both places. So he was able to build both America and Europe at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And we had an international blanket approach for it all. So it seemed seamless, and people were receptive to him because, you know, he was international himself, you know. Right. So he related to, you know, he had by being from Toronto, it's like a melting pool of a lot of different cultures, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So he understood the strong Jamaican and Caribbean culture that exists in London, you know what I'm saying? So he was able to connect, and you can see later on in the music he ended up doing, to end up in the artists that he signed, you know what I'm saying, Popcons of it all.
Yeah.
Like it always seemed natural over there. So it was like from the inception, you know, we hit Europe and we hit it hard.
Man.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Wayne in Europe. I think it was in France.
Yeah.
And it was Mac Miller was opening up for him too. Mac Miller. You remember that show?
I got that pass. I think I had that pass somewhere around here. I think I had that one. Yeah, I remember that show though. Yeah.
Damn, that was a good time, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, France love Wayne. Cause see that what was that Dipset song? He said something.
Yeah, Oulu Shake Alewa, bitches.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
That moment, listen, they thought Wayne was the French god, bro. That line, we didn't realize how big it was until we went over. When we went over there, you know, they like requested it. They was like, you have to do this song. Like, and Wayne took French in high school, so he knew a little French. So he was speaking French on stage, like, you know, he know his audience, so, you know, he'll go over there and, you know, just the simple shit like introductions and au revoir and all of he knows a little bit of that shit. So he made sure that he ties that in. But since then, you know, when we went over there, dog, that song, they thought he was goddamn the ultimate goddamn god. That's the same way in in Africa, bro. When he said something about Nigeria and that motherfucker.
And Millie's tough like Nigerian hair.
Man. Like when I say like they think, look, he was tapping into those international countries and they love him for that. So he still hasn't been over there.
So that's a secret right there. Then you just gotta mention they drop a country.
Yes. And he grew a massive fan base, bro. So France was definitely one of the places, like everywhere in Europe, that was probably the biggest market that he had all through France, just because of that motherfucking line.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's one of the craziest? Because I know before you showed us those, on the table you had so many others laid out. Which one, like, I guess here in America was like one of the most craziest. I know the Street Fighter one was your favorite, but was anyone where it's just like was a crazy ass night that brings any memories?
It's not a tour, but right here, President Obama's inaugural ball.
Oh my God! Wow!
The youth ball. We had Kanye performing that night. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, you know.
That's better than the chain right there, Ted.
Yeah, this was crazy, dog. Like,
Talk about the clearance for that. Like, how did that?
Man, Secret Service background check before we got in there. Like, it was heavy. Like, they had to do a full-fledged background check to get in there. Had to be approved. There was only so many people in the crew, you know. But he came back there and met me, and you know, my first time meeting President Obama. That was the first time. But, you know, and it was crazy because he came in the room. I remember it was Kanye, it was his mom, G Robinson, my partner, and myself, and maybe a couple of Don C, I think was in there, a couple other people, you know. And when he came in, you know, I don't know what they expect, but, you know, I was one of the first ones before he got to Kanye. He kind of speaking to the crew in the room, you know, and he's like, gave me some dap and brought me in here. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, man, okay. I'm like, we got a real one in the White House.
That's
dope. It wasn't like the handshake. There was a skit about that, right? I don't know who did the skit.
It was the Key and Peele skit.
John Peele did the skit, right? But that was real life. That was a real life experience for me. You know what I'm saying? He came in the room. You know, like said hello to a couple. You know, the security that was in there.
Right.
You know, he came to us. He was like, bring it in, like.
Did he tell you his favorite Wayne record or Drake record?
Nah, he was just like, you know, he was basically like, he was like, bro, you know, he told us like he was a fan. You know, he pulled me and G aside, was like, listen, man, he told us he understood the magnitude of hip hop. He was like, once he get in office, he's gonna want to, you know, at a certain point, you know, bring us back to the room to figure out how, you know, we could collaborate to make sure that, you know, hip hop voices could have say so in the political atmosphere and getting these messages out that we so needed. And he did that. He ended up doing that in his last term.
Right.
We had Nicki and Ross. Everybody, he invited everybody to the White House.
I remember that.
Yeah. You remember that? Like,
that moment.
He ended up doing it. You know, there was 8 on his first term, but he ended up getting to that second term, ended up really trying to do what he said. He told us that at the inauguration that first night, like he really wanted to get around to. He was like, let me get in here, you know, but I really want to, you know, have like basically a music council, you know, because he understood the effect of the culture, you know what I'm saying, the effect of the culture. Absolutely.
That's
awesome. One of my favorite times, bro. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here too, Tez, I know we talked about Wayne and the shows he's done overseas and here stateside, but talk about the rise of the Wheezy Fest and that experience has been over the last couple of years.
First one.
First one.
First one. First one. I think that we wanted to, New Orleans is definitely dear to our heart. Yeah. Shaped us to the people that we were, and we got, I got to a point and before this, before this, we started the OVO Fest for Drake.
Right.
That was the first artist festival that we did as a management team. We built that up, So we started that, built that. So, as Drake idea wanted to do something for Toronto, but I was sitting back and I was like, damn, at a certain point, I was like, man, instead of just doing a concert for New Orleans, I want to make the New Orleans event something super special.
Right.
We probably was 3 years into OVO Fest, and I was like, we need to do I told Wayne we need to do a Louisiana Fest, and that's the time when you're gonna come home every year and really, do something big for New Orleans instead of just a regular concert date. Let's get them a big experience, So, we just did it, Like I said, we had the experience from building OVO Fest.
Right.
And just kind of implemented it for Wayne. It started every year it's been sold out. It would have been year 5 this year. It was 4 years. It was 4 years. We started 2015. This is year 1. And sold out every year. Last year we grew. We doubled. We were selling out like 10, 12,000 every year.
Damn.
Last year we did like 25,000, and I was hoping to keep it going, but COVID kind of killed that. But it has been a good time. He's enjoyed it, and I think it's been good it's definitely been. New Orleans have a lot of festivals. We're Music City. We're Music City, but I think that we've etched ourselves in the
absolutely
in the festival landscape of the city, So it's something that the city looks forward to. People come in town for, like Essence Fest and Voodoo Fest and all our festivals that we have. So it's definitely been a great ride.
What do you think the future of concerts is going forward in 2021?
I don't think that we're going to see it I think that we're going to have a new formula. So I don't think I think the virtual space is here to stay.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, in the versus effect, all these things. I think people are getting disposed to being used to enjoying a show at home. So I don't, I think that it's going to be an extra layer. So I think that that's going to be here to stay in some type of form. Virtual concerts or some type of virtual experiences. I don't think that's going anywhere, but I don't think touring is not going anywhere. I don't think it's we're not. I don't think we're going to see it back to what it was until maybe this time next year at the earliest. At the earliest, but I think that it's definitely gonna. There's going to be layers to it. It's a new, out of COVID. We've experienced, enjoying things in our home. There's new forms of entertainment. So it's a lot of companies that's popped up since then until now that's trying to figure out all different types of virtual experiences. A lot of bigger companies getting into the Twitches and Call of Duties, So a lot of people trying to figure it out. So, music is still the driving force. Hip hop music and culture is still the driving force of dollars and these consumers, these young consumers. So that's why I think that it's not going anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, I know you got to go back to the money. Can you one more time, Tess? Can you flip and show us all those limbs that you had laid out?
Yeah, and I got one more thing to show.
Oh, please, whatever. Right? Oh my God.
I got one. I gotta see that plaque on the wall right there.
Ooh, the Blueprint Group, baby.
That number is more than that, right?
It says 20 million albums and singles.
Yes, that's
Be clear.
It's more than that because the Drake numbers is not in there. I ran out of time to add all the Drake albums in there, but I just want to give a shout out to my team because we always behind the scenes, bro. And Sean G, G Robinson, Al Branch, G Nelson, Brian Calhoun. We've been working together now for 13 years.
Wow.
And we've never been, we're not the upfront guys we're not the managers that everybody know. and the executives that everybody know. But, you know, from Kanye to Wayne to Drake to Nicki to Jill Scott to the Roots, G-Eazy, you know, like Tip, you know, it's been like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have been the architects behind a whole lot of things, and people be telling me, Taz, you need to start talking about this and telling people these things. But,
it's the truth.
Yeah.
What do you think is the blueprint success with all the artists that you guys have?
I think it's been selfless and understanding our artists and understanding our artists and maximizing their careers outside of music. You know, we turn our artists into brands and brand names. You know, and on the music side of things, between myself, G. Robeson, and Gene Nelson, you know, we got great A&R skills, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know hit records, bro. Like, you know, and the numbers don't lie. Look at Billboard charts. You're going to see Drake, Wayne, Nicki, Jay, because they started at Rockefeller, Kanye. You look at the top 10, and 6 of those artists are going to have our fingerprint on them, you know what I'm saying? So, never have been the one to talk, but everybody keep telling me, Ted, you got to say
you have to. Like someone just said, drop the book.
Because people don't know, like people really don't know. They say drop the book. Yeah, I still feel like I'm learning every day though. That's the crazy thing though, dog. Like I'm still learning and grinding. You know what I'm saying? Trippie Redd, like I'm getting these new artists that with Lil Nas X. We signed all these new artists that we managed, and I'm still learning. Like Lil Nas X was an anomaly. The things that he taught me about social media and how he came up with his name based off of motherfucking the most searched terms on the internet. I'm like, bro, that's how you get this name? Like, that's so genius. I'm still learning. So that's why I probably haven't thought of a book yet, because I still feel like I'm learning, man. But we got
to do this again, Tez. You and Ellie, we have a nice sit down like we did before.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do it all over again, man, because
absolutely.
you have so much to talk about, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, y'all.
Appreciate you, Tez. Thank you once again for coming through Artifacts. Shout out to everybody on the check-in, man. Appreciate you, Tez.
Love, dog.
There you go. Another great episode. Man, all those names. Who knew that Lil Wayne knew how to speak French? I didn't. Did you? Show all those Laminates, man. Blueprint Group. Shout out to everybody on the check-in. Tricky Stewart. Tricky, I'm going to need you on next week. If you don't know who Tricky Stewart is, kill yourself. Shout out to Celine, everybody to check in, everyone that's every week that we've been doing this. So many people. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Shalise, Miss Lopez, Wayne, everybody, man. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do this next week. Never know who's gonna pop in. And I guess I'll check you guys out then. Oh, don't forget, subscribe. Like, share, tell everybody to subscribe to the YouTube page for Artifact, and we keep this thing growing, all right? Shout out to London in the house, man. London, I ain't been in London in years. Get out in the gym. You see it, right? I'm in the gym. You see it? You know what I mean? Can't be looking flabby and stick out here. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. Once again, shout out to Cortez, Bryant. Thanks for checking in. It's Artifacts.